How's it going, guys? Emerald Fishing here. So, um, just sitting here in the shop. Been really kind of just um, wanting to do this video for a little while. I haven't made a video in a couple weeks. This video is kind of about how tough it's been. Fishing has been tough. Life has been tough. I often use fishing as a metaphor for life, and sometimes I use life as a metaphor for fishing. I guess if that makes sense. Um, it both uh, aspects of fishing and life. There's just tough times. You come across them very, very often. It's very unlikely that you're going to string along 5 good days of fishing or 5 good days of life in general. There's going to be something there in the middle that really just kind of wrenches at you or tears you down, brings you down, and you have to try and find a way to really maximize your ability to overcome adversity. It could be a simple thing of, hey, I don't want to get up today and do this and do that. I don't want to interact with anybody or whatnot. But you have to get up and you have to interact with people. You have to make yourself available to your family. There's just so many things that you got to get up and do, and it's not easy. Fishing is the same way. Say you're practicing for a 2-day tournament or something, and you're practicing for 4 or 5 days. Just like I'm about to go practice up in Sharon Harris for about 4 or 5 days with a buddy of mine, and we have just a regular club tournament there. But I'm going to practice for 5 days, mostly to get out on the water, see what it's like. This lake tears me up all the time. I think I've caught a total of 10 pounds there, on my best day, which is nothing. They have 10-pound fish in this lake. That's one fish. But I know going into it that I've not done well there. So I'm going to go into it with eyes open, positive mental attitude, and I'm coming off about 3 to 4 weeks of really tough fishing. Really tough fishing, except for winning one tournament. I'm going to show you a couple of clips in this video of me getting out on the water and struggling, casting and just not catching anything. And I went probably several days or weeks without catching fish. And then I decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to take a day off of focused fishing and just go out there and have fun. Go out there and have fun. And I brought my sister along with me, Janina, and she came with me. And let me tell you what, when your positivity is lacking and you bring somebody else with you, whether you want to be positive or not, it kind of forces you to be positive when you have somebody else in your boat, because you want to show them a good time. You want to be a good host. So this was the perfect situation for me to get my positivity level back up again. And let me tell you what, boy, did it come back. I caught a very beautiful fish, roughly about 5.5 pounds. I didn't have my scale, but pretty positive it was 5.5 pounds. It's the biggest fish I've caught on the New River. It's not the biggest fish I've ever caught in my life, but it's the biggest fish I've caught on this local body of water, which really doesn't have giant bass in it. And then like a couple of days later, I went back and caught another 4.5 pounder. So they're out there. I've seen them out there. It was really awesome. I was able to change my mental attitude by bringing somebody with me. I was able to really just enjoy myself again. With fishing can be so, it could be so lackluster sometimes, especially when you do it every day all day, you know, 3 or 4 days a week, or if you're tournament fishing and you're doing, you know, several tournaments a month and practice, you know, 3 or 4 days of practice on top of that, it can get very, very lackluster. But it just takes that one fish or that one good moment when you interact with somebody or you catch a good fish, and bam, you're right back on the fish train. You're right back out there casting and casting and casting like it's your first tournament you've ever fished or your first day of fishing. So I'm going to leave you with that. Check this video out. I'm going to talk a little bit throughout the video also, and you'll just see how I went from zero to hero, and I really enjoyed making that video.
So at this point, I have made it to the river. I've been probably fishing for like an hour in the morning already. Things are just not happening. I'm looking at my graph. I'm seeing stuff, casting at stuff. I am not catching a thing. And I'm not saying I'm some kind of bass slayer, but I like to think of this body of water as my backyard, and I just was not catching anything, you know. And you can tell I'm not enthusiastic. I'm just basically going through the motions. I did wake up extra early to get out there, you know, while the sun was coming up and everything. But I'm just not all there for some reason, and I really didn't like the way I felt that day. So I just keep bouncing around, and I'm fishing super slow, which I hate to do. But this time of year, super pre-spawn. The fish really just don't know what they're doing. They're deep. They are not active at all, and I also am starting to feel like I'm not very active either. Make a couple more casts in this area, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just not having a good time out there. And I know everybody says, you know, cliche stuff. Oh, anytime on the water is good time fishing. Yeah, I mean, hey, I just love being out here, man. This is just a great time. Nope, it really isn't. But boom, finally I catch a fish, and it's still not the best fish ever. You know, I don't think it's the best fish ever, but it is a fish. Um, I, I'm actually, I was at first, I just kind of thought like, oh, it's a small little dink and stuff. I was like, all right, I'll just lift it up in the boat. And right here, I'm actually gonna kind of like show you the fish and try and get my motivation level back up and be like, oh yeah, fish, you know, awesome, you know. But it just wasn't working for me. Toss it back in, and I went straight to the boat ramp right here. Right after that, I went straight to the boat ramp. And I had only been fishing for a couple of hours, and I said, I'm done. I'm out. I mean, I'm haphazardly putting my life jackets in an area where they don't even go. Slowly walking to the front, you know, just like, man, I am. That's what I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Motivation levels for everything in life are ups and downs, ups and downs. And I wish I could say I was positive all the time. I mean, I think at one point I used to be. But I guess I'm just, you know, I'm just not there yet. And, you know, when I am positive, though, bam, I'm positive. But this is kind of what it's been like. I mean, I've been fishing for 4 or 5 days. Really haven't been catching a whole lot. And then all of a sudden, check this out real quick. Just listen here.
Coming up in this area, when you come around that island, which side of the island you come around on? If I'm going back, you go around on the left side or right side? Left side. Okay, so when you come around that island, you go between the island and the brush pile, or you go on the other side of the brush pile?
I just cut it straight down the middle. You understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but you got that brush pile right there in the middle, on the other side of the island.
So this guy is like, he's fishing, practicing for a tournament, and
'Cause I bumped something
I haven't got anything yet. I moved to a different spot, and he's asking me how I make my entrance into the river around an island because he hit something on the way in, and I'm trying to explain to him, hey, stay on the left side, 20 feet off, 20 yards off of the island. Don't go any further than that. It's pretty shallow. The water's dropping.
Yeah,
And if you miss it, you miss it.
yeah.
Yeah, but if I come up here, I always come on the left side of the island.
Left side?
Yeah, from the bridge. You're talking about from the bridge, right?
From the bridge, I come on the right side.
Left side.
Left side?
Yeah, left side. Just stay about.
I'm like, no, dude, you gotta go the left side because nobody runs that right
Don't
side.
go through the middle of those poles.
No, I saw that side.
Yeah, don't go through the middle of those poles. Just stay about 15 yards to the left of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's going to be a brush pile on the left side there.
You know, this guy's gonna take off here in a minute.
Yeah.
He's gonna
All right.
Because it's super.
hightail it out of there and go look for some fish of his own and stuff. And you know, another part of fishing is karma. I really think that there's some karma out there, some fish karma, guys, fish karma. And so I kind of help guide this guy a little bit and tell him where he needs to go so he doesn't wreck his boat. Nobody wants to wreck their boat. And then just as soon as he left, I caught a fish right there. And I was like, wow. I mean, as he was driving away, I think I caught a fish. And so now I'm at another spot, you know, just a little bit up the river. And I'm like, dude, I got to start catching fish. I need some of that fish karma to help me out. I just helped this dude out. And bam, I set the hook. I'm thinking that in my mind. And then boom, I set the hook, catch a fish. It's not a giant, but it is a fish nonetheless. And maybe pay attention a little bit here. Watch how long I hold on to this little bitty fish. I mean, I got a ninja death grip on this fish after I take this bait out. And I'm like walking around the boat, holding on to this fish like I am never going to see a fish again. I even, you know, drive around with it with the trolling motor, and I'm like, yeah, got me one of them fish. I just don't want to let it go, and I'm even trying to find some awesome words to say, and I cannot find them. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna put my pole down and give it a shot, and then, you know, eventually I let the fish go because he's a little guy. I mean, he is a sardine compared to other fish, but I'm looking around and I'm just like, dude, what is going on? Why am I not slaying fish today? And then the next day, I go back out with my sister, and my sister's like casting like a G. Never been bass fishing in her life. Put a spinning rod in her hand, and she's just casting at everything. She's concentrating. She's having a great time. I'm having a great time. The weather's nice, and I'm like, you know, I gotta find something. I gotta get a fish to boost my confidence. I really need to change this mental breakdown around, man. And you know what's great is I got her there with me too. She's keeping me positive, so I love having somebody that can keep me positive. So it's this cast right here. I'm just like, man, looking around, and then boom, I think like here in this, yep, right here, bam, set the hook. And when I set that hook, I'm like, I don't even know if this is fish. I think I say that.
I don't know if it's a bass or not.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, oh, giant bass. Awesome. My sister, you know, doesn't even know anything about a net or anything, and I'm just trying to talk her through it. I'm like, hey, dude, there's a net over here in this box. Open it up. Check out this net. I gotta get this fish in. And when you see this, I had to do some editing, guys, because I had a couple colorful words. But man, I just love that big fish jump. Dude, it's like, dude, I had to cut out some of the clip because I got some colorful words in it, and you know, I know this doesn't have to be like a PG type deal, but my kids are probably gonna watch this, so not that they haven't heard it before, but I mean, it's a good fish. It's a real good fish. I didn't have my scale or anything. It's 5.5 pounds easy. maybe 4 pounds. I don't know, tell you the truth. But it is a good giant New River fish. Here in a minute, as it gets closer to the camera, you'll kind of see the real quality of the fish. And I caught it on a freaking swimming stick bait that I make in South African Special Color. Oh yeah, you gotta love the slow-mo. Gotta love the slow-mo coming up in it. But I mean, look at him. Just a super, super healthy fish, staging up for the spawn in a pre-spawn spot, which is a deep curve. I mean, this fish will come out of about 15 to 17 feet of water. I was like, wow. And he probably just goes up under them trees throughout the day and comes back down in the deep water and stuff. But just a beautiful, good quality fish. And it turned my fishing game around. My mental attitude skyrocketed with just this one fish. I'm back in the game.
So as you can see, kind of down on myself there in the beginning, but I was starting to doubt my skills, to tell you the truth. And at some point, I was even doubting my electronics, which, I mean, I know the electronics work. Great electronics. That live scope's pretty awesome. But I managed to work my way out of my funk and bring somebody along with me, change up my perception of the whole thing, and end up doing a really, having a really good fish catch toward the end of that week. And I just enjoyed it. I really did. Just catching a good sized fish like that can bring a smile to anybody's face, even if you're a sourpuss like me sometimes out on the river after a bunch of continuous bad days of fishing. But hey, guys, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment if you want to know what I caught that fish on. Matter of fact, I think it might be right here. But hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let me know what's going on. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember that just because it's tough doesn't mean it's always going to be tough. Eventually, you too can get back out there and get back in the game. All right, guys, take care.